Okay, so while we got some moments for the Z Warriors that, let's not front, we've been dying to get some more moments for the characters, the cast of characters, aside from Goku and Vegeta. We've been complaining for years that, yo, don't get me wrong, it's awesome when Goku and Vegeta do their thing, but it'd be feeling like the Goku and Vegeta show. So with this arc, they were like, I bet, we're gonna pull one, we're gonna give you guys the Z Warriors going in, and while, hey, you know, that's what we asked for, I guess sometimes to a certain degree, you be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And this chapter of Dragon Ball Super, you know what? Let's get into it. So now, I don't want to come into this review and completely slam the chapter because there was some interesting bits to it. There were some comedic bits that I did enjoy. And all around, again, I gotta stress that awesome that we got to see some of the other fighters actually have a moment. It was cool to see Krillin going in, and Krillin actually catches a W in the beginning of the chapter. Let's talk about that because I want to lead with love on this one. Krillin catches a W. Dope. Glad to see it. I like seeing a little bit of the strategy in the battle and everything. Although, to be honest with you, some of these fights felt like, especially the wannabe Mangetta, it felt like recreations of the Universe 6 bouts. Like, what was his name? Botamo. It kind of reminded me, like, the opponent that Krillin had, reminded me of, like, Botamo in a way. Obviously, not as strong, I would say, because Krillin made some kind of like work of him. I mean, he gave him a little bit of a run for his money, but for the most part, Krillin got the best of him and took the W. Dope shit there. But then we get some other stuff where I'm like, okay. Because after Krillin makes light work or, you know, does dude in, he goes to help out Roshi. Which, funny shit there. I'm not even gonna lie, like, Roshi, he was probably the funniest bits of the chapter. Although, to be honest with you, it feels as though they're really pushing forward of how much of a perv this dude is. Like, Roshi, he would, in the past, not be this bad. I feel as though it doesn't feel as funny as it felt like in Z or in Dragon Ball. Now it just feels like, yo, Roshi, relax a little bit. It looks like he's ready to bop Shorty over her head, or all of them over their head, and drag him to his sex dungeon or some shit. Like, Roshi just comes across a little bit different, and I don't know if it's the circumstances. I don't know if it's just that they making it like this man just took like 1,000 Viagra pills and he just can't help himself the way he's going in against these females. But we'll get back to that in a second. Because the Tien situation, Tien and Chaozu, while I was happy to see that Chaozu had a moment, he actually did something. It was like, whoa, they remembered Chaozu is not a mannequin. He's not a ventriloquist dummy as much as sometimes they make him appear to be. But Tien felt as though like they completely forgot what he was originally characterized as. And what I mean by that is, let's not forget that Tien and Chaozu originally in Dragon Ball appeared as villains. They were with the Crane School. They were in a rivalry with the Turtle Hermit, and like, they were bad people. They weren't good. Like, they had some really twisted ideals, and Tien used to talk some shit. He broke Yamcha's leg. Like, Tien was not a good dude. So when he's going up against this fake Mangetta, you know, and he has to basically disrespect him and talk crap to him in order to take him down, and he just can't find the words, and he just keeps messing up. I'm like, yo, Tien was a nasty dude. He used to say slick shit all the time, him and Chaozu together, and at least they remember that, hey, Chaozu knows how to talk some shit. He's like, you nasty hunk of metal trash, and I'm like, alright, thank you, Chaozu. One of you remembered what you were originally introduced as, because Tien is just like, oh, I get it. Over the years, you calm down. Master Roshi taught you the way of being a better person, all of that jazz, but damn, like, you can't remember how to say an insult. I would have said, yo mama is shit, yo daddy is shit, whoever created you. Like, I would have went in, bro. I would have roasted the dog shit out of that fake Mangetta. I would have been like, just on some next level. So to see Tien, that again, he was originally introduced as an asshole, not be able to come up with some insults that were decent enough to hurt dudes' feelings, to knock him out, I'm like, what are we doing here? And why are we even focusing in on this right now in the midst of this is supposed to be this big battle against these galactic prisoners that were, you know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be grandioso. And instead, like, they took the time to make some comedic stuff, but then at the same time, it even waters down because it's just like, I don't know, it just felt like okay. Then we cut back to Roshi, and he has blindfolded himself to be able to take on the 3 chicks that were, you know, again, these galactic prisoners, or yeah, the escapees of the galactic prison and whatnot. And we see Roshi is putting in work, which again, while it doesn't make much sense how Roshi is keeping up with all these people, like Roshi's power level was what, like 100 and something, if I remember correctly. So even at his peak, it's like whatever. I guess, you know, the Tournament of Power kind of did some Deus Ex Machina shit with Roshi's character, and they just all around changed a lot of things that were originally introduced. Elements is like, well, now Roshi could keep up with like all sorts of shit. It's like it feels as though he's Krillin's equal in a way, but him and Krillin are going up against these chicks. Roshi is able to whip them down, and then they reuse an element from the Tournament of Power. Felt as though, like, honestly, it just felt like a lot of reused elements for some unnecessary fights when they go all Ribrianne on us. And if you watched my super anime episode reviews regarding Ribrianne, you know I hate Ribrianne. So once that happens, and like Roshi and Krillin basically gotta hightail it and hide from them, I'm just like, we hiding from Ribrianne again? Like, what are we doing here? I was just like, why? Why? To be honest with you, a lot of my criticism of this honestly comes from, first of all, the chapter felt like it's dragging to get to the point with the Moro situation. Thankfully, the ending of it saved it. Like, okay, we're moving forward. Son Goku is finally here. Awesome. Great shit. But it just feels as though the Galactic Prisoners was a very, very obvious insert in order to slow things down from getting to the final bout against Moro, and to give the Z Warriors basically an object and a plot device to give us some fan service of seeing the Z Warriors throw down. Like, I wish there was more of a connection and an importance to Moro himself. Like, maybe these were his legendary warriors that rode with him to every battle, and you know, he's only as strong as many of his warriors are standing next to him, and as you onslaught, you know, you take them down, Moro gets weaker, something like that, where they would have more prevalence to, like, hey, this is why they are important. Instead, it just feels like, well, let's get some flunkies for Moro because he was introduced as like some King Piccolo without the tambourine and all those people, and let's give some good fights. I will say, I do appreciate that it's showcasing that Moro isn't completely heartless with his crew. Like when OG 73 and the other dude get whipped down, how he tells the other dude, like, yo, take him, get back to the ship, heal him up. And, you know, he's even like, yo, I told you don't be whimsically using my powers and shit. It's like, okay, Moro, to a certain degree, cares about these people. Maybe he's done some really heartless and reckless shit beforehand, but at the very least, it shows a little bit of something there. But it still feels as though, like, let's just get to the final battle. Like, let's get there, fam. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was really happy to see, once again, 17 and 18 throwing down, kicking OG 73's ass, because obviously, even if they use the Moro ability, they're androids. You can't really do that on them. So it was cool to see. It was dope, like a lot of the panels of the action between 17 and all of that jazz. Really cool shit. But again, it's just like, who are they fighting, and why should I care, considering is like, they don't, like, you take out Moro, you got Goku and Vegeta on the battlefield, take out Moro, what are they? You know what I'm saying? Then, in another ditch effort to stall a little bit, Moro uses one of his warriors from Jidambo or Gazambo, or I can't even remember the dude's name, and gives him some power, and all of a sudden he goes from a regular warrior to he's able to beat up every single person that is on the battlefield, takes them like rag dolls, and it's just like, alrighty then. I really feel as though one of the key elements that is missing from making this a lot more interesting and not feeling like it's dragging on is the setup for these villains. Like, it felt as though, like, oh, he used the wish to get some people out of a prison and now he got flunkies. Like, I can't really care too much about battles that don't really have any, like, don't get me wrong, the stakes are high in one aspect, but once again, it just feels as though something that's been redone over and over and over again in the Dragon Ball story is like, let's hold out until Goku gets here, and let's hold out until Goku and Vegeta get here. Like, that's really what all of this, again, felt like. It felt reminiscent to a certain degree of the Saiyan saga, but not nowhere near as deadly feeling as the Saiyan saga, because again, you got Roshi, like, you know, using his other head to fight. Like, what? And then, oh my gosh, like, yo, you give Yamcha a moment. What was the last chapter? Yamcha got a really cool moment. I was so like, yeah, they gave him a moment. This one, he's getting whipped around again, and now he's gonna team up with Tien and Chaozu in order to fight. Like, I guess the glory of Yamcha was very short-lived of one chapter, because now he needs help, and it's like, oh, Roy, then of course Krillin conveniently at the last moment saying, hey, let me power up so that Goku could feel this one last burst of energy and hopefully show up and save the day. And of course, he shows up, kicks fake Ribrianne's ass, and here we are. Goku has arrived on the battlefield. Honestly, this chapter, and maybe you take it like throughout this thing, it wasn't really more so a rant. I just felt as though this chapter really dragged things along at this point. Like, the battles wasn't as interesting as I had hoped. Tien's battle was ridiculous. I felt Magetta was ridiculous back in, you know, the Universe 6 saga. Like, you lose by getting insulted? Like, sticks and stones, fam. You ever heard of that? Krillin got a cool win in the beginning, but then the Ribrianne recreation was just like a nightmare and a half. That random soldier getting powered up by Moro and being able to take everyone down. It was just like, let's cut the malarkey. Let's get to the center stage. Get Goku here. Thankfully, he's here now. Hopefully, Vegeta shows up. I really hope, to be honest with you, it would be ill as hell. One time. Can Vegeta save the day one time? Like, Goku gets here? Like, that would right here change a lot of my perception of what we're doing at this particular point. Because remember, Goku's the first one to arrive now. It's not Vegeta that showed up and then Goku's gonna... Maybe Goku could take the L and then Vegeta shows up with all he learned from Yardrat and be the final blow to take out Moro or something. That'd be dope. Thankfully, at least we got some progression at the end with Goku finally arriving on the battlefield. But again, it just feels as though, like, this chapter was, like, dragging along. Like, it's not a terrible chapter. It was really cool to see the Z Warriors throwing down all of that jazz. But it just feels as though, Moro, let's get that ass whipped already, fam. So if I was to give it a score, which I rarely do that anymore in these reviews, but it was like a 6-ish. 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. You could argue even maybe a 5 out of 10 if you really want to go there with, like, it was average. It wasn't a bad chapter, but it just felt as though it was unnecessary. Like, it wasn't as interesting as I would have liked or hoped. And that's due to, once again, a very lacking of characterization, character build-up, and setup for the escapees of the galactic prison. Curious what you guys thought about this chapter, though. Out of the fights, which one you enjoyed most? How did you feel about Yamcha once again getting shitted on? What do you think about Roshi's battle? How did you feel about OG-73 getting his ass kicked and then getting dragged away by one of Moro's flunkies? And Goku's on the battlefield now. How do you think things are going to go? You think there's a possibility that we could be getting set up for Vegeta to be the hero of the day? That would be ill as hell, and it would change the dynamic, and I would love it. And your overall thoughts and expectation for Dragon Ball Super's manga with chapter 50 something and beyond. I don't know what chapter we're on right now. I think it's like 54, 55, 57. I think we're on 57. I want to say 58 and beyond. Let's go with that. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, you already know. Links will be in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for the life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And damn, Yamcha, they shitted on you again, fam.
Everything good always comes to an end. If you stab me in my back, we can never make amends. Trying to move to acceptance, hard to accept it. Mistakes like mirrors, gotta reflect it. I don't wanna fucking leave, but I gotta leave. Leave the maybes to the crazies. Maybe one day there I go admitting something in a subtle way. No more copies, leave without a trace. Last time, I'ma say last time. Moving on to the future, leave the memories as a pastime. Memories always feel like the worst. Letting all the past, leave it in a hearse. Sometimes I wanna lie, but I don't. Why lie when truthfully you get caught in it? Then usually it's all off and shit, uncalled for shit. Now I'm off the shit. Maybe lately what I've been facing got me crazy. No, I can't take it. Maybe